Heroes of Faith, Stories of Courage and Obedience. Throughout the Bible, God used ordinary men and women who had extraordinary faith. They trusted Him even when the world around them said it was impossible. These heroes remind us that true strength comes from believing in God and obeying His voice. Noah, the man who trusted God in the storm. Long ago, the world was filled with wickedness. People had turned away from God, choosing sin instead of righteousness. But there was one man who still loved and obeyed God, Noah. God told Noah to build a massive ark because a great flood was coming to wash away the evil from the earth. Even though it had never rained before, Noah didn't argue. He obeyed. Day after day, he worked under the hot sun, hammering and sawing as people laughed and mocked him. But Noah didn't stop. He trusted God's word. When the flood came, Noah, his family, and the animals God had chosen were safe inside the ark. The waters rose high, but God kept His promise and protected them. Noah's faith saved his family and became a symbol of obedience in uncertain times. David, the shepherd who faced a giant. David was just a young shepherd boy who loved singing songs to God. One day he visited his brothers on the battlefield and saw the giant Goliath mocking the armies of Israel. Everyone was afraid, but not David. He remembered how God had helped him defeat lions and bears while guarding his sheep. With a heart full of faith, he told King Saul, "The Lord who rescued me before will rescue me again." Armed only with a sling and 5 smooth stones, David faced the giant. He swung his sling, and one stone struck Goliath's forehead. The giant fell. David's courage came from knowing that God was greater than any enemy. Esther, the queen who saved her people. Esther was a beautiful young woman who became queen in a foreign land. But one day, an evil man named Haman plotted to destroy all the Jews. Esther's people were in great danger. Her cousin Mordecai urged her to go before the king and plead for her people. But approaching the king without being called could mean death. Esther prayed and fasted. Then, with trembling faith, she said, "If I perish, I perish." Esther's bravery and obedience saved her people from destruction. God used her courage to bring deliverance and to remind us that He places us in special positions for His purposes. Daniel, the man who wouldn't stop praying. Daniel was a wise and faithful man who served in the king's court. Even though he lived far from his home in Babylon, Daniel never forgot God. Every day he prayed, 3 times a day, no matter what. When jealous officials tricked the king into signing a law that forbade praying to anyone except the king, Daniel didn't stop. He opened his window and prayed as usual. He was thrown into a den of lions, but God sent an angel to shut their mouths. In the morning, Daniel came out unharmed. The king was amazed and declared that Daniel's God was the true and living God. Daniel's courage showed that faith in God is stronger than fear. Deborah, the prophetess who led with wisdom. In Israel's time of trouble, God raised up a woman named Deborah to lead the people. She was wise, brave, and filled with God's Spirit. The Israelites came to her for guidance, and she judged their disputes under a palm tree. When enemies attacked, Deborah called the warrior Barak and told him God's plan for victory. Though Barak was afraid, Deborah encouraged him. "Go, for this is the day the Lord has given Sisera into your hands." With Deborah's faith and leadership, Israel defeated their enemies. She sang a song of praise to God, reminding everyone that courage and obedience bring victory. Faith in action. These heroes, Noah, David, Esther, Daniel, and Deborah, each faced danger, fear, and uncertainty. Yet they chose faith over fear, obedience over doubt, and trust over comfort. Their stories teach us that anyone, young or old, man or woman, can be a hero of faith when they listen to God and follow His voice with courage.